According to the supposed new fashion on BookTube, I should be drinking tea or something because allegedly I'm going to talk about stuff that is controversial. So I don't really know what to do here, so I'm just gonna go and show you my video, I guess. Hello beautiful bookworms, my name is Katarina and welcome to my channel. And as you can see, I am profoundly snuggled in my nose. Like it's terrible. I'm sort of sickish, so if I stop talking, or if you see me blowing my nose, or if you see me coughing, it's fine. It's completely normal. It's allergies. So who doesn't know about allergies? So the reason that I'm here is because I watched a movie last weekend, and you all know what movie it is, not because it's the title of this video or anything, but because I'm a Potterhead, so I had to go and watch that movie. It's pretty obvious. And I have seen some videos of some people that I really enjoy watching and others that I just watched because of that specific video, ranting incredibly about Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And so I decided, like, first of all, just a disclaimer that I don't believe that I should be making, because at this point people should know this, but if you hated that movie, that's fine, that's your opinion. Great. I personally liked it, as stated in my title of this video, so I think we both have normal opinions. They are opinions, and so they are pretty valid, both of them, so not talking shit about anyone that hated it, as well as not saying that everyone that loves it is right. I'm just talking about why I like it, and why I think that some controversies are going to be solved in the next movies, and shouldn't be paid that much of attention in rage mode as I saw some people get into, because there's no need. There's going to be more movies, and those movies are supposed to explain everything, so just chill, because that's what you all need to do. We all need to chill and just wait for things to be explained. So I'm just getting on with this. As you've probably seen, I'm going to film this video about my experience watching Fantastic Beasts 2: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and I don't think that I need to state anymore that I really enjoy that movie and I really liked it, which kind of appears to be a controversy opinion, because most of the people actually hated it, which I have to say, I understand why some people didn't like the movie, but I didn't understand why some people felt so strongly about not liking the movie, you know, because some of the things that are stated, and I'm going to tell you more about it because obviously, if you haven't seen the movie, this is going to have spoilers for the movie, but some things that are stated don't appear to be that problematic as people are trying to make it, so I'm just gonna jump in and say why I like this movie and respond to some controversy, I guess. So first of all, obviously, to watch this movie, you're supposed to have watched the first one, not because the first one is incredibly relevant to this one, but I have to say that I like the second one more than the first one, because the first one was just a presentation of all of our main characters for the rest of the movies, and it was a really fun movie with a lot of creatures, with kind of awkward protagonists. It was fun for Hufflepuffs because they had a protagonist. It was fun because we're in America, so we're introduced to Makusa and to Ilvermorny stuff and others, so it was pretty fun. But it was a fun movie, and just in the end, some stuff started to happen, like with the throwing of names like Lethal Lestrange, which you automatically think it's associated with Bellatrix Lestrange, and with throwing of stuff like there's Grindelwald, and there's Obscurial, and there's going to be shit hitting the fan pretty soon. Despite that, I still think the first one is a fun movie, but it wasn't as good as the second one, because what the Harry Potter saga introduced me to was kind of the fight against good versus evil, and how things happen, how people get hurt, how there's wars, and how there's specifically fights and spells and stuff going on, and not just going around Fantastic Beasts, which was nice, but it was just fun. It didn't have anything to do with the plot. It was just there. So I did enjoy the second one more, because in the second one we have the beginning of the good versus evil sort of thing. And I have to say that despite all the controversy happening with Johnny Depp, I think that he is doing a great role as Grindelwald, mainly because he fits that style to a teeth, and he is transporting the character to a very Nazi sort of character that you don't want to like, but you understand why he's saying some of the things that he's saying. He's convincing, he's very manipulative, and I think that Johnny Depp is doing a great job portraying that. The uniform that it dresses is amazing, and I don't know, I really like the character. I want to see more of it because I believe that we haven't seen that much of it, and I want to see more. And particularly, I want to see him interact with other characters instead of just giving big speeches. But I really enjoy what I've seen, and I think that having a sort of sociopathic, manipulative persona is great. I really enjoy this villain. I enjoyed it a little bit more than Voldemort because of the fact that this is leading to a war of classes between muggles and between wizards, and not just domination of everything. He actually has this point where he wants to enslave non-magical people to the bounds of magical people. So that's interesting enough. That is not just world domination, it is actually class and wizardry above all else. And I really enjoy the plot point where he showed, I believe, the Second World War. And he said, if we don't do anything about this, and if we don't rise up against humans and control them because they don't know what they're doing, there's going to be a Second World War. And it happened, a Second World War, so you obviously know that they're going to fail, and you know that because of the Harry Potter history, and you know that because of the world history, if you know what I mean. So I found that particularly interesting. I think that it's nice when they put in such a world created, like the wizarding world, when they put stuff that is actually interesting for the world in itself, like a basis, because the wizarding world coexists with the human world, our world, and since this is based in 20-something, I find this particularly interesting that they actually care about our world enough to put like this little plot thingy in there. I thought it was nice. Now, according to some people, and I have to say that in that point they are fairly right, our main characters are not as good as the main Harry Potter characters, which is pretty obvious because you cannot do a powerful, amazing, funny trio as you did in Harry Potter, and our main characters are a little bit older, and so with different preoccupations and different awkwardness. And obviously Newt is a great character, although I do feel like he suffers from some sort of antisocial contact because he never looks at people in the eye, and I think that difficults his way to deal with his family, with the Ministry of Magic, with his love interest Tina, and with other people. I think that difficults a lot of things for him, but I find that he's really greatly developed. Like, he's someone that doesn't want to take sizes, he just wants to be left in peace with his creatures, and I think that's really important because those are the good people that sadly get involved in stuff because they want to do what is right and they want to try and help, and sometimes they don't help, which was fairly the case for what happened in this movie. And I really enjoy how they are putting our main characters so flawed that sometimes they can't help, even though they try really, really hard. Although I have to agree that our American characters are not as well developed as Newt, which is kind of sad because it does seem like they are giving a little bit more to the English Hogwartian characters that we supposedly know best than the others. So I really love Queenie. Tina, it's neutral to me. I don't know what I feel about her. I really love, how's his name? Jacob. I really like Jacob, but I mean, he's just there for comic relief, and you understand that. And for the plot with Queenie, because now she's turned bad, which I have to say, I cannot wait to see that. Because she is so innocent, like she has no idea what she's doing. She's just doing that because she wants to be free to love who she loves. And not because she's inherently evil, but now she is evil, not inherently, but because of her choices. And I find that very, very interesting how good people sometimes make bad choices because they are sick and tired of being pressured by other people. And this is again related with the fight of classes, and I find this really incredible. If I like the plot with Tina and Newt, no, I don't care. And I understand that people are mad because of that, because you're supposed to care about the romantic development of our main characters. But I don't care, and I don't think that the essence of the movies is the romantic development of the characters. And I do understand why Newt has such difficulties in communicating with Tina and she with Newt, because she is awkward as fuck as hell. And we all know that. She is awkward, she doesn't know what to say and when to say it. She tries to pass a strong vibe of Honora that she doesn't have because she has a soft heart. And I think that that's why they have so many difficulties to try and connect with each other. And I think that that's also important, but I don't think that we should lose a lot of time on that. Although I did enjoy the eyes like salamander things because they connected on a deep level. Like, who would have finished his sentence like she did? No one, because nobody in their right mind would say that your eyes look like salamanders, but it was just so cute that I died. Also, what I really enjoy in the Fantastic Beasts sort of world is that we don't see things as we saw in Harry Potter. So in Harry Potter, we had mainly adolescents, youngs, magicians that had to do specific sort of spells that were taught, and they were taught those ways of doing magic, and they hadn't developed their magic enough that they could do more specific and more destructive and strong kind of spells. And in Fantastic Beasts, we are dealing with an adult cast. So in Fantastic Beasts, the magic is of another level. It's so complicated and so amazing. We have new ways of magic, which I have seen some people saying, oh, she's changing all the magic. She isn't. They are just grown-ups. They know how to do stuff, so they don't need to put the wand in specific thingies and just say, like, finiti incantatum. Like, they don't need it. They just have to say finiti and it's finiti, okay? It's done. They don't need it because they can channel their power differently. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like this, but I feel like in reading the books and in watching Harry Potter, adults, when they actually did magic, they always did stuff that they haven't taught the children. So they did stuff all over, like for instance McGonagall using the statues to defend the school. Where was that taught? And you will say, well, that is transfiguration. Yes, but it wasn't taught, and she didn't need to do or say anything. She just put her hands and she did stuff. And when they were fighting Hogwarts in the last movie, they didn't have to always be shouting the spells because there was grown-ups fighting, and they just did stuff and channeled magic. I think that people need to understand that, first of all, it's a magical world, and just because we were learning some of the more specific things that those adolescents were learning, that doesn't mean that there aren't other types of spells that adults, and more importantly, horrors, because this movie was filled with horrors who are people that specifically do magic against evil and have to develop really big channeling ways of doing magic and to know all of the ways that you can do magic. A movie that deals with that has to go up some inches. So when people say that they're a little bit against the fact that people are putting their wands to the ground and creating a firewall to protect a city, what's the problem about that? Because why shouldn't they? And why does the spells that aurors and adults use are any different from, for instance, when Dumbledore in the Order of the Phoenix puts his hands together and the phoenix just comes and it disappears? How is that any different? Has anyone taught you that spell? Because if anyone has, I will shut my mouth forever. But I think that people are just, I don't know, blowing this into proportions that it doesn't have. There's no need to do that. It's just magic done by adults. Magic done by people that actually know what they're doing. And I'm not saying that Hermione didn't know what she's doing, but she still has a lot to learn. She was only 18, okay? So I bet that when she was a grown-up, she could do stuff like that. And we don't know because we've never seen it. So, again, chill, because it's fine. The only thing that I'm against, and I have to say that got into my head and I got really upset, is the fact that obliviation apparently does not work in the same in Fantastic Beasts world, because in the beginning of the movie, Jacob said that it only took his bad memories away from him and that Queenie told him all about them, and he had all of his good memories. And that's not how obliviation works, because if that was the way it worked, when Hermione took her parents' memories of her, they would still know that they have a child, because only the bad memories would be wiped. So that's not how it works. And all of the Death Eaters that they obliviated or did stuff in the progression of the Deathly Hallows would still remember them and everything that went on, unless they were bad things. You know what I mean? So some people are saying that people weren't obliviated. The venom that Newt gave to the bird in the first Fantastic Beasts wasn't an obliviation spell, but I am pretty sure that he said to Jacob, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that he said to Jacob that the venom had great obliviating properties. So it kind of does the same thing. And I think that didn't need to be on the script. Queenie could just have said, well, I told him everything and he believed me, and I brought him here to talk to you because you exist and he believed me, you know? They didn't have to spend that little time saying, oh, the obliviation didn't work with me, because that was stupid. That did deny the magic that J.K. Rowling said how it worked in the first one. It was kind of strange, but I think that even when they were doing the movie, they just throw that in so they could move with the plot forward, which was pretty sad, but in my opinion, it was the only wrong or very harmful thing to be done to that movie. The rest was pretty fine. So now let's get to some of the major controversies. So I really enjoyed the way that they explained Nagini, and I know that people are going to throw stones at me, and probably all of you are going to unsubscribe, but think of it this way. This is actually a thing that exists, or people believe that exists, as JK tweeted and explained. It's a curse. It's a thing, and we live in a world, when we live in the Harry Potter world, in the Wizarding world, where curses exist. So why not that one? And she is not entirely a snake. She's a woman that turns into a snake, but there's going to be a day when she's going to turn permanently. And in that day, she's not going to be human anymore. She's going to be a snake. That's how a curse works. That's the same sort of thing if you could turn permanently someone into, I don't know, a plant or something. Because, and I'm not saying animals are the same as plants, okay? Please don't come at me. I'm just saying that all of that thing that Neville cut her hair and she is a woman, she wasn't anymore, and we don't know if she turned to the dark side before that happened, or if when she turned to a snake, she had no more consciousness, which is pretty possible. And if you understand a little bit of the magic in Harry Potter, it also explains why she could turn into Bathilda Bagshot with Polyjuice Potion, because she had been a human. But it explains as well why she can't speak or say anything without being in Parseltongue, because she's not longer a human, she's a snake. So I really enjoyed the explanation. I really enjoyed the tension with her and Credence, or his other name, we'll get there. And I really enjoyed how she doesn't want to go to the bedside. So I really think there's a plot that we can explore in the rest of the movies, like if she actually joins the bedside, or if she truly just turns into a snake and then crosses paths with Lord Voldemort, because fuck you, that's why. Another thing that I'm not going to explore a lot, and that was a little bit strange, but I really enjoyed it, was the relationship with Lila Lestrange. She never wanted to be bad, which is great. And all of the things that his dad has that genealogical tree, and he sees women not as great as men. That was pretty cool. That explains some of the saltiness that goes on her family. The only thing that I didn't catch was, if she was dead, who could continue the line of the Lestrange? It was kind of strange, so I didn't understand that, but I really enjoy the fact that she wasn't inherently evil just because she was a Slytherin and a Lestrange. She tried to fight Grindelwald, she tried to save Newt, and I have to say that I really enjoy the fact that they were school sweethearts and they still pined for each other. It was pretty cool. It was something that could happen in the real world, that happens in relationships. And I think that trying to give the Lestrange a redemption arc was really good of J.K. Rowling's part, because they are seen as the followers of Lord Voldemort, as the Slytherins that are evil, and showing you that, first of all, takes off all of the charges of Slytherin being evil, and second of all, takes all of the thing that the families are inherently evil, like the Malfoys or something, just because they were associated with an evil name or with an evil being. And I really enjoy that. What I also enjoyed was, as I said, Grindelwald, and his speech was amazing. I felt like it was a true Nazi speech, like it was a true thing that he's trying to convince you to do, but for all the wrong reasons. Like you want to do them for the right reasons, but you do it for all the wrong reasons. And it was amazing. You can see how he's great at manipulating, and I love that he and Dumbledore had made a pact that they couldn't hurt each other, because that explains why the fuck Dumbledore doesn't move until the end of the movie. And now we have ways for him to just face Grindelwald, and that is freaking amazing. So why aren't people happy about that? Because we know that there's a duel, we know that he kills him, or at least vanishes him, and we wanted to see that, don't we? Because the drama, because in few clips they showed you that Dumbledore cared for Grindelwald. And they kind of show you that Grindelwald didn't care that much, because he made them do a pact that they couldn't move against each other. And that was for some reason, because he is manipulative as fuck and he knows what he wants to do. And Dumbledore is suffering with all of this situation because he's putting Newt in danger, he knows that people are going to die, and he wants to help, but at the same time, I think Jude Law did a great job, because he was a true Dumbledore. He was manipulative as well, and a little bitch with his riddles and his hands doing signs like, oh, I know you don't want to go, Newt. And he's like, but wait, what? I want to go. And he's like, yeah, I have the card here for you. It's fine. If I like Nicholas Flamel, I couldn't care less about him, but I thought it was like an Easter egg for people that have actually watched or read Harry Potter, and that it could be fun. But I don't care about him. That's the truth. And yeah. Now let's get into the controversy thing, and I have some theories that could solve the controversy, and I really want you to just accept these things with an open mind. You don't need to agree with me, you just don't need to say that I'm outright wrong or that you're going to stop watching the movies because this is never going to be solved. Remember that there are 5 movies, and we've only seen 2. So there's a lot of things that could work out and turn this into a really amazing Wizarding World story. So bear with me. So I think the thing that made fans really truly angry was the fact of Aurelius Dumbledore, which is Credence, and he is a phoenix, and he's supposed to be a Dumbledore, and a brother that Dumbledore never had in the 7th book when we are exploring his family. He only had 2 brothers, Aberforth and Ariana? I don't even remember her name, whatever. But he never had another brother, and I have seen a lot of comments of people saying, you can't just give someone another brother, and this is wrong, I'm never going to watch this again, because in the Pottermore and in the Harry Potter movies, she never mentioned another brother, and first of all, I have to say that if you hadn't mentioned the brother, that cliffhanger and that plot twist wouldn't work out, because the point of doing a plot twist is that people don't know about the plot twist. Second of all, please don't get mad. This is just a fact that I'm telling you about. Maybe he's not Dumbledore's brother. Like, we have seen how Grindelwald uses people and manipulates them to do what they want. And Credence, as an Obscurial, is the only one that has power enough to actually go against Dumbledore. So maybe one of my theories is that Grindelwald can be lying, or maybe lying to Credence in order to make him hate Dumbledore and make him turn against him. So maybe he's not even his brother, and you don't have to be so tied up and, oh my god, why does he have another brother? Because he might not even have one. Grindelwald is the only one making this statement, and he's supposed to be the only one to know about it. So maybe he's just fucking Credence. Again. We never know. Another thing that might happen is that Credence might actually be Dumbledore's brother. But have you thought about the fact that maybe Dumbledore doesn't know he have another brother, and maybe nobody else in the world knows that there's another Dumbledore? And if that were the case, and I do believe, yes, I am stretching this, okay, I am, but this is a theory. Personally, I agree more with my first one, but I also have this one, that maybe he is his brother, and maybe Dumbledore doesn't know it, and nobody else besides Grindelwald knows it because he's dedicated his life to obliterate Dumbledore in order to gain power and to actually be able to destroy or enslave the no-match portion of the classes and the wizarding world ruling. So if Grindelwald is the only one that knows about this, then maybe Dumbledore will only figure it out when he's fighting Credence, and maybe Credence dies, and maybe Dumbledore, being the shady bitch that he always was in the books, because you know that's true, maybe he's going to keep it hidden from everyone in his life. And that's a possibility. Maybe the people that contributed to the Rita Skeeter manual on Albus Dumbledore's life, maybe they didn't know about Credence. And you have to admit, it sounds forced and it sounds drama plot points, but it might actually be true. Or Grindelwald might just be lying and be a motherfucker bitch. And why would that be wrong? Like, you just want to create tension in a good movie. You want to make people feel, oh shit, oh no. That was my reaction. My first reaction was, oh my god, in the entire theater of the movie. And my boyfriend said, please shut up. And then I thought, what? Wait, but he didn't appear in 7 Harry Potter, and how dare you? And then I thought, well, she is the writer. She would be the only one to know if Dumbledore actually had 3 brothers or not. And maybe he's not his brother. Maybe Grindelwald is tricking them all to win. Or maybe he is, and he gets killed, and Dumbledore will hide it forever. As much of the things he did in his life, he hid them, all of them, forever. Nobody knows about them. Even Harry didn't know a sticky thing about Dumbledore, because he's shady as hell. And we all know that, so we don't need to be worried about that situation. And I think that we should stop overreacting. Like, if you don't want to see the movies, just don't go, okay? I'm not going to force you to see them. But I think that telling the writer and telling people that things can't happen or that things aren't that way when you haven't seen all of the progression of the 5 movies that you are supposed to see, maybe you're missing out on something. Maybe you'll miss out on one of the greatest movies of your life or one of the greatest Wizarding World movies. Maybe not. And I don't love Fantastic Beasts more than I love Harry Potter, and that's not a possibility. But I think that we have to keep an open mind, because J.K. Rowling clearly wanted to tell something if she went back to this world. And if she has a plan of 5 movies with other people, with a director and producer, then maybe we should wait and see how all of these things that appear to be jumping from the sky and just falling in our laps could actually make a cohesive story. Obviously, as I stated, there were things that bothered me. I told you what things were. But there was also things that I want to see how they work out, because I love the Wizarding World. Not only Harry Potter, but all of the things that J.K. Rowling created. So I believe that in the end, the best thing that could be done is just give her a shot. If you want. I'm not going to make you do that. So that is all for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, and obviously respect everyone's opinions, because that's what matters most when you're watching something that you're supposed to enjoy. So that is all for today, and happy readings to you all. Bye!